This is the video notes that are going to go with products of positive exponents. So we're going to be looking at 5 examples here to work together that have 2 base numbers, and in this case 8 is the base, that each have exponents, and product means to multiply. So we're taking a number with an exponent and multiplying it to another number with an exponent, okay? Now we're not actually going to multiply this out. What we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this so that we combine these 2 8s into one 8 with only one exponent. There is 2 steps to this process. The first step is we're going to expand. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to come right here. I know 8 to the third means 8 times 8 times 8, okay? Then I've got this times or multiply sign right in between them. And then I've got 8 to the second power. That means take 2 8s, 1, 2, and multiply those together. Now this step is the step where we expand, okay? The second step we're going to do is we are going to regroup and rewrite with a new exponent. So all we're going to do in this step is literally count how many 8s we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to basically unexpand it and write a final answer of 8 to the 5th. Notice again, I took both of these terms and I rewrote it so that I still had my 8, but instead of having 2 different terms with 2 different exponents, I just have the 1 8 with 1 exponent. Okay, and that is my final answer. We literally are not going to multiply that out because a lot of times in these problems, they are numbers that are so large that the calculator can't do them anyway. Okay, now let's look at number 2 right here. Now, one thing I do notice is this 4 doesn't have an exponent, but we know it should have a 1 placeholder. Okay, so you can put the 1 placeholder right there. Now, remember 2 steps. First step is to expand. Well, if I expand 4 to the first power, that only means 1 4. That's it, okay? But 4 to the 5th means I'm going to write 5 4s and I'm going to put a multiply sign between them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? And then once we expand it all out, we're going to count up how many 4s altogether we have that we're multiplying so we can find our new exponent for our answer. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be 4 to the 6th power. And that's my final answer. Now, if I look at number 3, I notice here I have 2 different bases. I have a base of 8 and a base of 8, but I also have a base of 9 and a base of 9. Okay, so we're still going to expand just like we did before, even though I have different bases. 8 to the third is 8 times 8 times 8. This multiply right here in the middle comes down. 8 to the second is 8 times 8. Bring this multiply right here down. Now, 9 to the second, that would be 9 times 9, because there's 2 of them. This 9 right here, remember, that's an exponent of 1, so that's just times 9. Now, let's count them up and combine. So right here, how many 8s do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 8 to the 5th times 1, 2, 3, which is 9 to the 3rd. Now, I don't try to put the 8s and the 9s together because they're 2 different base numbers. We only put the ones together that have the same base number. So all the 8s together. And we put all the 9s together because they're the same base number. Okay? Now, number 4 is similar, just different numbers. So let's scoot down here to number 4. If I expand, 7 to the second is 7 times 7. And here, guys, the x does mean to multiply. One of the few times that we're allowed to use x for multiply, not as a variable, okay? Times 7 to the 4th. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make sure I count correctly. That's where a lot of people will make mistakes. Times 2 to the 3rd. That's 3 2s. So that's 1, 2, 3 times 2 to the 2nd. That's 2 more 2s. So 1, 2. Now let's squeeze them all back together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 to the 6th power times 2 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th power. Now, a lot of times they're not going to write it like this. A lot of times they will put that smaller base number first. So you might have 2 to the 5th times 7 to the 6th. A lot of times they do like to put these base numbers in ascending order, okay? So you have to know that this and this do mean the same thing, and they are truly the same answer, okay? Now, look at number 5. Here, I notice I have 3 different base numbers, okay? So that's fine. I can have as many as I want. 1 to the 2nd, that is 1 times 1 if I expand it, times 5 to the 3rd, 1, 2, 3. This 5 to the 3rd is 3 more 5s, 1, 2, 3. Notice I'm being very careful about counting. Times 6 to the 2nd is 6 times 6 times, now this 6 right here, no exponent means there's 1 there, so that's just 1 more 6. Now, let's combine. 1 times 1 is 1 to the 2nd. The 5s is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 to the 6th. And then 1, 2, 3 is 6 to the 3rd. And there is my final answer. Okay. So now go ahead and finish copying down your notes. Go to Canvas and find your problems to work on and get it turned in for me, please.